Thanks for organizing this event. It's my privilege to be here, actually. So my topic actually is very relevant to Dr. Rowe's topic. I am very excited you talked about the examples of values. And microaggressions. So I, as a teacher, I experienced in different schools in the United States and here in Soleimani at UHD that I noticed kind of, let's say, a distance between students or between teachers. So it's called microaggressions. So micro, it's from micro, little, small, and aggression is from being aggressive. So, all right, so let's talk about some definitions first. So if you look at this picture, what do you think? What comes to your mind before I show definitions? Yes, anyone? Yes. Blaming, bullying. Very good. What else? Insulting. Very good. Differences in could be religion, race, ethnic groups, sexual orientation, whatever, right? So microaggressions, let's look at some definitions first. So according to this research, or these researchers, Sue and Nadal in 2007, it's a brief and commonplace daily verbal, behavioral, and environmental indignities. So this might occur actually intentionally or unintentionally. So it's a statement that occur between, let's say, the teachers, the students that communicate hostile, derogatory, or negative racial slights and insults, as you said, to the target person or group. Another definition, according to these people, this can cause students to experience serious cognitive, behavioral, and emotional reactions, making it very difficult to them to learn in that environment. So if a student feels like they are, let's say, discriminated for any reason, so that will cause them, and that they may not be able to continue or drop out from the school. Categories. What are the categories? Well, there are many. But the most common ones are micro insults, micro invalidations, and micro assaults. The first two are unintentional, and the last one is actually intentional. So micro insults are, again, statements, actions, or any cues that subtly communicate animosity of a lack of compassion. So this makes a person wonder whether they are deemed. And the second one, micro invalidations, this is also unintentional. That's interaction that convey a sense of someone's feelings, thoughts, or behavior. And the last one is micro assaults. This one is actually intentional. These are, again, small yet deliberate actions or statements. Now, let me show you first the pyramid of violence, actually. So if you look at the pyramid of violence, you can see microaggressions is actually in the second level. Microaggressions is in the second one under the individual acts of prejudice, so which is actually problematic that we as educators need to pay really close attention to everything we say in class with our students. And reactions, so that person may react differently. So could be cognitive. So there's a sound, so internal voice, internal dialogue about whether to respond to the microaggressions or not, or could be behavioral. So you can feel from their body language, posture, or tone of voice that they didn't like the way you, let's say, you approach to them, right? Or you treated them this way. Emotional, or could be you can feel that these people or this person is angry or anxious. So the examples of values that Dr. Rauf explained, all of those are, he talked about, I believe, respect, right? And so if we build that strong relationship between the students and the teacher, so we can avoid the microaggressions somehow. Okay, SEL program, SEL, stands for Social Emotional Learning. When I was in the US, and maybe you can also add that in different states, they have a program that, like a center for, it's called SEL, Social Emotional Learning Center, where they discuss any, let's say, problems occur between students or teachers. So these people could be psychologists or advisors from different groups. And so the SEL program, by the way, this is a very good book, so I really advise you to read it, by Barbara and Laura, Social Emotional Learning in the Classroom. So if you look at this, again, as the values of cultural values Dr. Rauf explained, so that's include respect, empathy, self-awareness, collaboration, self-motivation, social engagement, and so on. So there is a growing group that schools are responsible for fostering students' social and emotional development and their cognitive skills. So my suggestion is if we could implement this in every school and have a center that discuss all the problems occur between students or teachers, and so we can address them and find solutions for them. Some examples from me. Excuse me. Okay, so these are some real examples. So it could be something very little, like, is that your real hair? That person may feel bad. I mean, why do you ask this kind of question? So we have to be very thoughtful, very careful in communicating with our students. So that's one thing. It's actually another type of microaggression. So we have to be very careful. Or could be about a religion. Why do you wear a headscarf? I mean, or when were you born? I mean, this kind of question about your originality or where were you born, it might be problematic. Or, very careful with disabled students. And you don't look disabled, or you know how to cope with disability. So we have to be very careful in choosing the words or the statements when we communicate with our students, teachers, or other educators in general. Strategies, well, what should we do as educators? Acknowledge the moment and immediately take the lead in addressing the situation. If that happened in class, maybe in this meeting, so slow down, take it easy, move on if you are teaching, and then you could, let's say, address this with the head of the department, with the dean, with other people. And then you could also acknowledge the emotions of the room. Don't ignore it. So you may tell other students that what happened was not really okay, was not really normal. So you could also talk about it in a different class or a different seminar, that what you did was wrong, but and then try to address all the misunderstandings. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I have a couple of videos, but I don't know if time allows to show you, but should you have any questions, you can ask me later on.